So for one last time, let me do something on styles in the hidden package. I've just realized my algorithm is still low. So let me do something on the analysis of stylistic devices in the hidden package, a story that is being studied by grade 6, 7, and 8 in grade 7, 8, and 9 in Kenya. But anybody else can listen to this because when you talk about literature, the fans of literature are just all over the places. So let me start with the first stylistic device in the hidden package. A very common style is similes. So we have a lot of similes in this book. Like when you check on page 4, you'll find the simile which is known as, which says fidgeting like someone with an itch. Page 26 gives us another simile. The author says it looked like a gray blob. Page 49 has another simile, exposed like a naked person in a field. When you go to page 54, there is a simile in this text whereby the author says, lonely like a child whose friend has refused to play with them. Then the other simile comes on page 39, wrapped in a cobweb like a delicate gift. All right. Then we have the other simile. You are the game. Foe. Hi, welcome. The other simile comes on, let me just check. Thank you. I can see the 2 likes. Thank you for the 2 likes. It's late at night. In Kenya, it is now 11:26, but I'm still daring the night because I've not achieved my goal today. So I must achieve before I sleep. I want to see the table, the watch hour table having moved up before I can sleep actually. That is what is called grinding hard, going hard on it, right? Yeah. The other simile is on page 54. In the text, we are told, lonely like a child whose friends have refused to play with them. And on page 50, wonderful nature from India. Wamaste. Wamaste from India. You've used a very good name, possibly suggestive. Wonderful nature. Youth Game was also a suggestive name. I don't know from where, but welcome. Thank you. Like the video. All right. So we also have vivid description in the book Hidden Package. If you check on page 66, the vivid description is as follows. The monkeys chatter from the nearby trees while hanging around to acquire food. Lions growl, the sky is blue and cloudless and the day is hot. That is page 66. If you check on page 3, there is also vivid description, which most people should learn to use in their compositions. When you are doing writing, teaching even children to learn how to write, it is a very important skill to use. So we have a description here. He wore a maroon jacket and a pair of navy blue trousers. He was walking along the edge of the road and kept glancing behind. The man raised his right hand to shield himself from the evening sun. Just below his left wrist, he had a crescent-shaped scar. The scar ran from the thumb all the way to his little finger. The skin on the scar was lighter in color than the rest of his hands. Under his left armpit, he held a package wrapped in a newspaper. Skinny Boy Beats. Hey, today I'm getting very unique names. Very unique names. Suggestive. I wish you the best for your future in life. Don't let people take you down and tell you you aren't enough. Thank you. Advice. Actually, it's many people want to bring people down, even on these channels. You will be sitting here doing something, then somebody tells you ugly or tells you shut up, or they tell you go get a job. But we just grind it hard and pray that God gives us the strength, because sometimes it can be painful, but God normally helps us to actually say that, yeah, we may not be having what we want today, but tomorrow is another day. We may get, all right? So thank you so much, Skinny Boy Beats, for your advice. All right. The other vivid description comes on page 26. Mina Stephen, hi and welcome. Thank you for showing up here. Big up to you. Like the video. If you're also new here, I will urge you to subscribe to the channel, because when you subscribe, you actually do a lot for us. The algorithm goes higher. And also when you watch my video at least for 10 minutes and more, it helps me to actually achieve the watch hours. Because the reason why I'm even sitting here up to now is my watch hours are still below 4,000. And I posted so many videos, but there was a problem at some point. And so even the videos which got a lot of views are way back. Yeah, so thank you so much. I appreciate everybody, because this is late. As I've said, in Kenya, it is almost 11:30. So if you're watching, you've really sacrificed for me. It's not easy. So I appreciate. All right. So the next example of vivid description here comes on page 26. We see the author saying how big it was. The barrel-shaped body was long and wide. It ended in a head with two horns on its snout, one long and one short. The animal moved slowly and then turned to face us. With its small eyes, it started at our bus, looking curious. Okay. The other vivid description comes on page 43. At the last minute, just before the motorbike ran over me, I jumped into a trench, breaking the fall with my hands. The motorcycle zoomed past me, so close that I felt the heat from its engine. It swerved dangerously as the rider tried to control it. I dragged myself out of the trench and saw it disappearing round a sharp bend down the road. That is page 43. Remember the time the poacher almost killed a girl known as Atieno? The other last description in this story appears on page 66. Ati says that Wamuyu puts khaki shorts, a wide-beamed hat, and speaks some French. The other style that is very prominent in Hidden Package is irony. We see irony on page 27. It comes as follows. It's ironical that children thought they would find a map of a treasure when they saw the man hiding something and they went digging it out, only for them to find a rhino horn full of blood in a newspaper. You can check that on page 27. On page 49 versus page 67, we also see irony. The kids thought Chief Konya was collaborating with the poacher to actually steal the horns. So when the kids went there and saw the man sitting, they retrieved their steps and ran back to their homestead. Yet, this man was very honest, and the poacher was trying to convince him to have the piece of land where he had hidden the treasure actually sold to him. Another irony comes on page 30. When we look at page, it is ironical for the kids to run to the chief's home happily, intending to report the poacher, only to find the two sitting together and talking comfortably. Hence, they turn away without sharing whatever they intended to say. When you check on page 61, we have another ironical situation. It's ironical that Ati walks down the bushy road and realizes the fig tree is cut. Then she is sad, thinking she can tell her friends about the happening, only for her to be kidnapped by the poacherman. We have a lot of rhetorical questions in this story. Some of these occur as follows. Remember, rhetorical questions are questions that do not need an answer. Maybe someone is just asking so as to create a rapport, or maybe they are asking out of shock, or maybe sometimes even it's out of mockery or ridicule. So on page 13, we have a rhetorical question. Wamuyu asks, how could he dig? What did he use to dig? His bare hands. On page 30, we have another rhetorical question. Wamuyu asks, heroes, what are you talking about, you daydreamer? Page 43, Wamuyu also asks Ati, and she does not respond. Who was that? Who was it? Are you hurt? That is page 43, when Ati is almost ridden over by the motorbike. Page 39, we have another rhetorical question. Ati asks, what if the man really thinks Wamuyu and I are the ones who took the rhino horn? Okay. Then we have onomatopoeia. I hope you know onomatopoeia is the connotative sound coming from something or someone. So page 63 has the word wigged. Page 11 has crawled. Page 11 has cracked. Page 8 has hissed. Page 9 has cocked. Page 11 has fidget. Page 10 has crunched. Page 39 has rustling. Page 51 has whispered. Page 66 has growl. Page 63 has grabbed. Page 63 has shouted. Page 21 has plucked and rubbed. Page 59 has whistled. Page 55 has screamed. And 41. Mumbling comes on page 36. Cracking 56. Dragged page 43. Zoomed page 43. Scream page 23. Cracking page 24. Swishing page 26. Swerved page 43. Bobbed page 55. Trampled page 49. Sprawled page 60. The other style that is very prominent in this story is hyperbole, which is exaggeration. Page 49, we are told the lessons of the day flew. How can lessons fly? Page 43, we are told Ati claims not to have a match at Kati game. The clearing of bush also seems to be exaggerated. Clearing a bush is not easy. 41, the narrator says, I screamed my lungs out. Impossible, right? We have dream motif in this story. It happens when Ati kept dreaming about the poacher chasing her while holding the rhino horn. And of course, we saw that happening. That is page 36. Page 23, Ati wakes up again, having seen the poacherman pursue her, growing big like an ogre. We also see Ati dreaming, playing with the rhino horn near the bank of the Mangwa River. She throws it up and down. It slips and falls in the mud, and later swiftly flows the river. Water currents keep swerving it, and she's almost losing sight of it when she catches at it, and it dissolves in her hands. That is page 55. She screams, and the grandmother comes, an indication that they would lose the horn if they don't rescue it at night. We have also the style of dialogue. People prefer dialogue than conversation. So dialogue happens in the text between Wamuyu and the friends. When they are playing Kati game and they see a stranger, they begin to talk. On page 64, we also see that the three kids talk about the possible danger they will encounter from the poacherman who is trailing them. And they decide that he might be walking with weapons. On page 64, Atieno talks with the grandmother. When she finds out her situation and falls off from the hands of the kidnapper, she confirms that she was right. Page 16 to 19 says we see the three kids talking, right? They talk to each other, planning on going back to the bush, and they see the man and they talk about it. When we look at the text, page 49 to 52, we also see a conversation where the chief and the kids are talking. The chief is asking who is clearing the bush, and the children say they don't know. And they say possibly the man was looking for something, and they say they are playing marbles. The chief also wants them to be very careful with the bush because it's not a safe place. Later on, they also talk about the horn and where they should keep it now. The other style that is prominent here in this story is foreshadow minimal. We see foreshadow Ati's grandmother and Ati. They believe that the poacher is a dangerous person. He might come for them. And indeed, in the morning, Ati is kidnapped after the man has attempted to check for um, the horn at the hollow fig tree and missed it. The other style is flashback. Flashback, of course, you understand, is the recollection of the past. It happens on page 11, whereby um, the kids are in grade 8, and at one time, Wamuyu says he helped to retrieve the watch. Therefore, the rest tell him that you can retrieve the horn. We also see in this story coincidence happening. It's coincidental that the police and the grandmother arrive at the scene of crime just when the kidnapper is taking away Ati. On page 30, so coincidental that the children arrive at the chief's home to report the case of the poacherman, yet that poacherman is there. We have also monologue in the story, page 27. Ati asks herself whether she should tell the parents or the police or the teachers about the horn. We also see the style known as personification. Of course, when you check page 43, the author tells us that the Kati skill saved her. Page 54, Ati says that the tree appear lonely. The tree, not tree. There is also parallelism, which is not a common style. In fact, in high school, we don't allow it as a style, but I saw through analysis of JSS, it is there. When you check page 45, you will see parallelism. We took turns. We told how we had reached. We then told how we had discovered. We also told her how we had gone. We also see another example. The aspects of she told me. She had told me about it. And over years, cutting and using trees. Yeah, so I think those are the styles that come up very clearly in this story. Let me show the notes, and from there we can call it a day. At least I've tried, even if we don't reach that time. Kello Sharp has come about. I didn't see in time. Thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate. Kelly Sharp has been really supportive, watching me all along. So thank you, Kelly Sharp. If you are watching and hearing, I really appreciate big time, because among the people who watch me daily, Kelly Sharp, Yilmaz, We have Canadian Prospect, and who else? Troy. They really watch me every now and then. Let's see this notes. Let's check the notes. So we began from here. I hope you can see the notes on parallelism, then flashback, simile, personification, vivid description, vivid description, then irony, rhetorical question, onomatopoeia, monologue, coincidence, hyperbole, flashback, foreshadow, and finally, dream motive, and finally, dialogue and conversation. Yeah. So that is it. I have to go and sleep. I'm so tired, but I had to do what I gotta do. They always say grind it hard. When things are not really happening to favor you, you just have to push. Yeah. So I had to push because it's very late, but I looked at my watch hours and algorithms, they are a bit low. I think today so many reactors were up to the task, and so many people are struggling to watch in different venues. And sometimes those who have bigger following and have been on the streets for long are possibly watched more than those who are coming up, which is not a problem. It is the world that tells us or teaches us that. So thank you. Good night.